let's look at these runs from yesterday. In this particular case, we looked at these while we're eating lunch, but I just wanted to make sure that it's pretty clear of what we're doing. So you didn't like the fact that you were breaking at the hip, or what you call breaking at the hip, and which is, I'm assuming, is where you're seeing the angulation, like you're basically seeing the C shape. That's what you don't like. For me, I don't mind that, because the skis are basically going on edge. So for me, whether you have the C shape or the straight line of inclination, for me, it just really doesn't matter, because that's what I'm looking for, is to see what the lower leg and the hip are doing to get the skis on edge. So that's what I like about that. So I have no problems with people going, like I said, I just want to make this clear, that I have no problems with people going straight in and getting that line of inclination in the top of the turn without angles in the top of the turn. I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Absolutely. So you can get the skis on edge and get some pressure. From this point, this is the point here that I just want to be clear. The line of inclination is still fine, so the skis are on edge, but I'm going to want to start seeing the angulation, or that C shape, starting to happen, because that is what's going to have the crossover, the active crossover here. You do a pretty good job in that term, all in all, because you're quite smooth. But let's, in theory, if you're still inclining, so this line is still the line of inclination, you're going over as much as you can in that line of inclination, and if that line of inclination is still happening there, without any angulation, then there has to be a fairly big move to get the skis over to the new edges. But if you have some angulation at this part of the turn, getting a little bit of C shape, then the body is already starting to get ready to go down and inside let's see if I can do this, show you this, the next turn. So you can start to go inside here. I think that makes sense. Or, even using the upper body, I don't mind. As long as you can get there. But if you have to swing the whole upper body from right inside the arc, so you're in the region of being in here, rather than you start moving the shoulders to be going a little bit more to the outside, so a little bit more, getting it to start moving to the outside there, or even think about lifting the armpit up so that you get the shoulders a little bit more level. When you start coming in a transition, then you're going to be able to move forward and inside at the top of this next turn with some really good flow. You actually do a pretty good job here. I don't mind this, the beginning of this turn. Okay, this looks really good. For me, this is fine. Look at the skis. Look at your skis. You're on edge. And it's pretty good. You have a slight flare there, but we sort of talked about that in the previous video. Okay, so just watch out for that. But now, excuse me, when you move into, excuse me, into this, you kind of start to rush it. And look at this, the swing that you do just a little bit too much coming across the hill at this point right here. And you really should just be going pretty much down the hill there. That makes sense. So watch out. Now, I think you kind of get all that. Let's just briefly just touch base on the ankles here, because I know the ankles is something that you've talked about with Pat, which I think is actually a really good thing, because you want the ankles you want the ankles to be active. And here I do see your ankles being active. I see those skis rolled up. I see quite the flare. I see the hip going kind of down the hill. So that's all good. So the ankles, really, if you think about the ankles being the first thing to create edge, then you're going to create your platform really early, and then you're going to be able to move inside and be able to arc through. I hope that all makes sense.